It's DJ Z though. It's Robbie though. It's Jesse though.
And on behalf of the Bromans, we'd like to congratulate you
on 16 years, coming from not only one half of the current TNA Tag Champs, but a former GLCW Heavyweight Champ, bro. 16 years of the PWR, the Pro Wrestling Report. Let's give props to Dave Hero, Damian Nelson, and we can't forget about the best one there, Linda Kay. That deserves a triple boom. Boom! Congratulations, guys. You guys are definitely down with the Bromans.
congratulations on your show.
Big thanks to the Bromans for kicking off the 16-year anniversary celebration of Primetime TV, where this week we find out
who might walk out of WrestleMania as the new WWE World Champion.
What has Jeff Jarrett been up to for the last 8 months, and when will he be making a big announcement?
And why am I no longer on the Yes Movement? I will absolutely tell you why coming up in DWHS.
What did we think of our live event experience at Ring of Honor Wrestling in Milwaukee last week and TNA Lockdown in Miami? Find out our thoughts coming up.
all of this and much more, including several more superstar cameos and familiar faces coming right now on the 16th anniversary of PWR Primetime.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 16-year anniversary of the Pro Wrestling Report, and it's prime time right here on My 24 Milwaukee. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius and Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockout, straight edge, hardcore, knocking out,
traveler,
world traveling Hall of Famer hero.
Yes.
David, how are you here tonight?
You know, not as good as I was a week ago in Miami, but you know, I'll take it. It works.
Big thanks go out to the Bromans kicking us off tonight. Thank you for those accolades, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us here on the Pro Wrestling Report. There is more to come.
Does that mean you're on the list?
I've been on the list for a very long time,
It sounds like
bro.
Linda's on the list too.
Well, she's been on the list just a hair longer than me.
Well, obviously.
Let's get right down to it, folks. A loaded show, a stacked show, one that you are definitely going to want to buckle your seatbelt for, and it's this week's big story. It was TNA Lockdown this past Sunday on pay-per-view from Miami, Florida, the University of Miami, I think it is.
Yes, it was. Yes,
University
where
of
The
Miami.
Rock went to school.
Where The Rock went to school, and it was
The
a pay-per-view that was headlined by steel cages all the way around, but the main event was Lethal Lockdown, Team MVP versus Team Dixie. Team MVP getting the win in that matchup. Now, earlier in the evening, we would hear Dixie Carter tell us, in one of the worst promos in the history of promos,
I couldn't hear it.
Tell us that that's a blessing. Tell us that she had an insurance policy, and she would announce prior to the matchup that A, Jeff Hardy could not participate, and B, that her insurance policy was going to be revealed during that matchup. Well, it was revealed to be Bully Ray as the special guest referee, and he would be the one attacking Bobby
bet
Roode.
She got that insurance policy through the Obamacare website.
It's called the Affordable
Because
Care
it didn't
Act.
work out for her, did it?
It's worked out for millions so far. The pay-per-view, Lockdown.
Yes.
Team MVP, and then this past Thursday, we saw the Dixie Carter tribute and MVP, large and in charge of wrestling operations.
Yes.
in
Yes.
Impact.
A lot of sniveling butt kissing on Impact as well, wasn't there? Trying to make sure they all get to keep their jobs. And new people back, new knockouts.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, MVP is taking things in the right direction. He brings back the beautiful people, the new girl Brittany, you know, sets people straight.
Is she a mean girl?
A mean girl?
Yeah.
I don't think so. She seemed very sweet and loving and caring.
The matchup itself, Lethal Lockdown, you know, participants come
So
out
much stuff going on in that
phases.
match.
The top of the cage then lowers, weapons are in play.
It didn't lower until Willow jumped off the top of the cage.
Great point. Jeff Hardy not permitted to be a part of the matchup according to Dixie Carter. Jeff Hardy wasn't because it was the debut of who we saw was coming. Willow, performed by Jeff Hardy.
Shh. Kayfabe.
You didn't see the tattoo?
No. A lot of people have wrestling tattoos.
Not that particular one around the entire side of their body.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It kind of gave it away.
Might be able to compare that later. Just saying, here on this broadcast. Anyways, what did you think of Willow's debut there, David Hero? Well, I'll let you say it.
I like Jeff Hardy. Super talented individual. I just can't believe he went into Dixie Carter's office and says, you want me to re-sign? I want to come back as Willow. Not Jeff Hardy, the guy that sells the most merchandise in the company, the most t-shirts, the most autograph requests, the most photo ops after the show. I want to come back as a guy that looks like the Toy Man, the villain from the old superhero comments. And that's what they get. And that laugh, it's creepy.
What about the screaming?
That's what I mean. I mean, Jeff Hardy, extremely talented, and I'm sure he'll eventually get it to work. But Jeff Hardy is a brand. That will be like...
Jeff Hardy brand.
That's like Hulk Hogan coming back as Mr. America.
Speaking of coming back, as we said, Lethal Lockdown, the match won by Team MVP, but Kurt Angle pulled off the show on Saturday. And an open challenge issued by Ethan Carter III during the TNA Lockdown Interaction press conference, which again, his brilliance shined through. But the open challenge would be answered by a returning Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley back at Impact Wrestling. And it wasn't really a match, though, David Hero, but he got the best of EC3.
You know what's amazing is, of course, me being down there in Miami, and I was...
Did you party with the people till the break of dawn?
That's how I missed my flight coming home. But seriously, I was privileged enough to be hanging out behind the scenes and going over certain things. I didn't see Bobby Lashley at all. So when his music hit, and I had no idea he was there. So it was a well-kept secret, didn't leak out anywhere. And I think Bobby Lashley, I think he can do some decent business for TNA Impact Wrestling.
The Great Muta, part of this pay-per-view as well, which
Amazing.
wasn't, I don't think, as promoted as it should be. Opening contest, tag team action, Muta gets the win.
The Great Muta, I saw him all weekend. Walking around the hotel, kind of like how you do after a night of being at Hurley's in New York.
What do you mean?
Just very slow and plodding.
Methodical.
And eyes squinted just so you don't bump into stuff. But when Muta got into the ring, he was like a completely different person. He was jumping and kicking and flying and flipping. I could not believe it. And it was very cool. I've never seen Muta live in person.
Yeah.
Amazing to see that legend in the ring.
I'm a longtime fan of the Great Muta, and great execution in that matchup. There were more matches on Lockdown, folks. We're going to talk about those as we go into overtime, the expanded and extended edition of the Pro Wrestling Report
after
Prime
we're
Time.
off the air
After
here.
we go off the air here on My 24 Milwaukee, we will give you more at PWRshow.com.
I don't know why you keep giving more.
1 hour long edition of the 16th anniversary special of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. And David Hero,
yes,
the Bromans kicked us off.
The Bromans.
Well, let's see who's going to take us next. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. We'll be right back after this special message.
Hey guys, this is TNA Knockout Velvet Sky, and I just want to say congratulations on 16 awesome years to the Pro Wrestling Report. Keep it up, guys, and I hope for many more. Good job. Yeah, baby.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to stop me from getting what was fair. I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They green-lighted my case and got me $100,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 16th anniversary edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside.
You know what this means?
What does it mean?
You're now legally old enough to drive.
Is that right?
Yes.
I can ride along in my automobile?
Yes.
With no particular place to go?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Well, with that great news, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about this past Monday's WWE Raw. And you just said yes 3 times, didn't you, David Hero?
Yes 3 times.
Coming out of Raw, Daniel Bryan occupies Raw. He gets a match with Triple H at WrestleMania, and then gets a clause added to that match, whereas if he wins, he will also be added as the 3rd man in the WWE World Championship match making it a triple threat matchup. So Daniel Bryan goes from not being on the Mania card to being in a match with Triple H, and then from there, he could move on and go on and be in the main event, the championship matchup for the World Heavyweight Championship.
WrestleMania 30 could be the largest yes chant ever.
Later on in the broadcast, we're going to talk about WrestleMania so far, those who aren't on it who should be, and what might happen at it as we, we'll have an expanded panel for that segment, David Hero, later on. Actually, that'll be the part of the online portion of the Pro Wrestling Report. However, Monday night, the Yes Movement, the peeps in the ring, all of the people wearing T-shirts, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon not too pleased with the goings-on. Triple H gets so upset that he accepts the challenge of Daniel Bryan for the match at Mania, and as I said, it moves on from there. If he beats Triple H, he could then leave WrestleMania the WWE World Champion.
Could his night get any bigger? To not only defeat a legend in Triple H, then to go on to defeat the legend killer Randy Orton and the Beast Batista? Who would have? Anything is possible in the World Wrestling Entertainment.
I think the biggest part is, how did we get here? What was the journey? And I talked on Twitter this past Monday night when it happened that, see, WWE does know what we want, and they do know how to keep it from us long enough to make us want it more, to, in the meantime, spend more money, watch more product, get more invested, and this past Monday night, it all culminated with Daniel Bryan finally getting that matchup. From his losses last year, his brief stint as WWE Champion last year, to his loss, or lack of participation, rather, in the Royal Rumble, I think it all led to Monday, which, by the way, partially wasn't audible because of the Batista reaction, CM Punk being gone, but at the same time, it all worked out perfectly.
Do you think, looking at it now, that Daniel Bryan Danielson would be more than happy to trade in all the nonsense he put up with to win at WrestleMania 30?
But do you think that nonsense he put up with was somewhat planned?
I'm sure some of it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure as, there's a guy on the show, he used to call things a temperature check.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. That may have been a temperature check to see what the reaction was going to be.
Well, then they dipped that stick a couple times because Daniel Bryan, since SummerSlam, he has been a headliner on WWE pay-per-view events. And as I said again, this past Monday, it all culminated with the Yes Movement getting that WrestleMania chance.
We'll talk about that later.
That we will, but one thing to talk about now is another big moment on Raw, which was Hulk Hogan making his second appearance since his return to WWE. He had a major announcement he had been talking about, and that announcement was that at WrestleMania 30, there will be a 30-man battle royale for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy.
Which I think is a great way to find spots for guys like Zack Ryder and 3MB and, some of the NXT stars. Give everyone a payday.
A 30-man battle royal 3 months after the Royal Rumble for the Andre the Giant Memorial. Wasn't there it was a trophy at WrestleMania 2, wasn't it?
Yes.
Rosemont Horizon?
No. Yeah.
That battle royal? 20-man, I think it was.
WrestleMania 4.
That was the tournament for the championship.
And that's when Bret Hart broke it over Bad News Brown.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about this battle royal. As you said, we heard some of the names that have been announced to be part of it. Ryback's going to be in it. Dolph Ziggler's going to be in it.
Yeah,
Biggie Langston's.
Yeah. The IC champ
Cesaro's going to be in it.
So there'll be other matches. I mean, Daniel Bryan can't be the only guy that's doing double duty. Others are going to have to. The roster's not deep enough.
Are you going to be chanting yes, yes, yes when WrestleMania goes off the air from the Superdome in New Orleans when Daniel Bryan is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion?
Not at all.
You won't?
I won't.
I thought you were the leader of the Yes Movement.
I was.
You got your little cup here. You had your T-shirt.
I was all for it. I have now since changed my stance on it.
Oh, well, this ought to be good. Are we going to hear about it?
Absolutely.
Wow. A solid Raw this past Monday night. Lots of action as well, including John Cena, Bray Wyatt becomes official for WrestleMania as well.
Yes, and that's going to be a fantastic match. John Cena is going to elevate Bray Wyatt to upper card.
We'll talk more about WWE Raw in the Overflow, the expanded edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime, which occurs online at PWRshow.com immediately following the end of our broadcast here on My 24 Milwaukee. But right now, time to find out who this week's Diamond of the Ring is.
This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring is a man that has proven that anyone can be forgiven. A guy that threatened to kill unborn children, and Mr. Anderson, I'm talking about TNA Impact Wrestling's Bully Ray, comes in to save the day and help Team MVP defeat Team Dixie at Lockdown in Miami. So once again, this week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring, the place where they pay cash for gold, is Bully Ray. And now I'm going to throw it to one of my dear, good, longtime, good, close, personal leader of the Super Friends, Mr. Anderson.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Anderson. Just want to send a big shout out to my pals over at the Pro Wrestling Report. 16 freaking years of service. We thank you guys. Big congrats to Dave, Damian, Linda, and sometimes Cal.
New Orleans, SWO, the Shenanigans World Order is coming to WrestleMania weekend. Join Ken Anderson, Demolition, Shane Helms, Al Snow, and the headliner, the main event, Kevin Nash, for a huge event. A VIP dinner and reception, a question and answer session, a meet and greet, and an after party, all part of SWO, Friday night, April 4th. Details right now at PWRshow.com.
It's time for this week's hot news. I'm the Cause, and here are the headlines you need in around 2 minutes or less for those of you scoring at home. Former WWE and WCW star and TNA founder Jeff Jarrett took to Twitter this week to give more details on his rumored wrestling promotion. Jarrett said that the world can expect all the details in a major announcement scheduled to be made on April 7th, the day after WrestleMania. Last night on WWE SmackDown, it was announced that Carlos Colon, the father of former WWE star Carlito and current WWE star Primo, is the latest addition to the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame class. It was also announced earlier in the week that the Ultimate Warrior would be inducted into the Hall of Fame by Linda McMahon. The 2014 class will also include Jake Roberts, Lita, and Paul Bearer. All will be inducted during WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. The Mirror in the UK is reporting that Phil Brooks, who you might know as the former WWE star CM Punk, is scheduled to appear on AMC's Talking Dead, hosted by Chris Hardwick, tomorrow night. Brooks will appear with Melissa McBride and Yvette Nicole Brown on the Walking Dead post-show. Brooks appeared on the show almost 2 years ago and made news when he sent out a tweet that said, quote, "Yes, I will be on AMC's Talking Dead on Sunday." Shocking how WWE didn't promote it or get AMC the proper materials in time to announce it. Brooks has not yet been seen on WWE TV since the Royal Rumble. PWR keep you up to date with the latest developments on these stories as they become available at PWRshow.com. That's it for this week's hot news.
Whoa. I thought Frank. You know what? I wasn't paying attention. I did bring you, I'm drinking my Diet Coke since you've got us hooked up on that. Welcome back to the show, amigo.
Thank you, sir.
Where have you been?
I've been around.
The witness protection program
it's working out good.
It is?
It is.
Fantastic. I'm glad you can take Damien's spot anytime you want.
You got it. But you know what Damien mentioned is DHHS.
It's the spoken
and
word.
Now I get to see it live.
It's the spoken word.
I want to hear about it.
It is the most controversial spoken word of all time.
They are ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I can't
hear
wait. Monday night, the IWC and the Yes Movement got exactly what they wanted. A match with Triple H at WrestleMania and the possibility of being in the main event as well. Daniel Bryan was surrounded in the ring and ringside by his Occupy Raw hipster friends, and all they chanted yes or no when appropriate. As the initial supporter of the Yes movement, I now feel it's time to jump ship. The hipsters around the ring on Monday night is not who I am, nor do I want to be. Before some of you get all bent out of shape, every one of you asked for this, and the corporate offices gave you exactly what you wanted. In the past, superstars have been surrounded by beautiful women and rock stars. Daniel Bryan got a ring full of supermarket greeters. Who wants that fan following? I have said before, and I'll say it again, when a superstar is truly over, it's because the fans want to be that person, and the women and or men want to be with that person. Yes, Bryan is married to Brie Bella, huge props, but I have also seen the quality of shenanigans that Randy Orton and Dave Bautista get into as well. I'll be the heel. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Well, controversy doesn't always create chaos. Sometimes it creates heartache for me.
What do you mean?
Your DWHS you just did.
How is that controversial? It's honest.
Supermarket greeters?
No, I said Walmart greeters.
No, you didn't. You said supermarket greeters.
I wanted to be a little more specific.
Let's go to this week's SmackDown report, ladies and gentlemen. And SmackDown last night, well, nothing happened.
No.
At the end of the day.
No.
Daniel Bryan wasn't even on the show, so where was the follow-up from Monday? Triple H came out, he did.
You know what, but if he's working double time at WrestleMania, they got to give him some time off leading up to that. He needs, and who knows what him and Brie have planned.
Triple H says that Daniel Bryan is going to get destroyed, and I quote, destroyed at WrestleMania 30.
First of all, let's be honest. Triple H is going to beat the holy heck out of Daniel Bryan. There's no way he won't. Don't you agree? There's a lot of shenanigans going. You know what? All these surprises you got planned tonight, there's a lot of nonsense and shenanigans all over this place.
Sheamus defeated Heath Slater with the Brogue Kick. The rest of the 3MB at ringside. You want to see 3MB in that WrestleMania 30 or that WrestleMania?
It's only spot.
Oh, it's a 30-man battle royal at WrestleMania 30.
You got to fill it.
Andre the Giant.
You got to fill it. You got 3 guys right there.
That is brilliant. You know, I wondered where they were going with it with Sandow on Monday night. Raw, Damian Sandow, yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, I like his new shirt, which
he's had that shirt for weeks, if not months.
But it's not for sale yet.
It isn't?
No, it's on pre-order still. I've been waiting impatiently because I am greater than you.
Sandow had to apologize. After that apology, he had to fight Seth Rollins, who of course destroyed him. And Rollins leaves.
You have a beautiful palatial estate down in Illinois because you obviously have more money than we have in Wisconsin. If you win the 30-man over-the-top rope Andre the Giant Invitational Battle Royal, where do you put that big trophy? I mean, your house, I'm sure you got a big mantle for it. But can you imagine getting that on the plane? I mean, TSA is a pain to begin with. Imagine having a 7-foot-tall Frenchman with you. I mean, you know, when you're trying to get the statue through, security, do you say, he owed money to Jabba the Hutt?
Big E gets a win over Fandango. Dolph Ziggler gets another win over Alberto Del Rio. Ziggler announces to us that he is going to be heading into the WrestleMania Battle Royal. And then some shenanigans between Kane and The Shield as he brought them to the ring to back him up in his matchup against The Big Show. Show still won the matchup with a big choke slam. Afterwards, Kane and The Shield got into it. And, it was Roman Reigns taking him out with a big spear, and that's how the show ended. The Shield standing tall.
The Shields are the baby faces. They had to get there eventually, and now you got to wonder what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. Will Triple H confront the Shield?
We'll see what happens. That's SmackDown from last night, ladies and gentlemen. With that, let's go to the event center with
This is the man they call Meet In. Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Come on down and check out GLCW's next show at Turner Hall on March 21st, featuring a cage match between GLCW champion Al Snow and Armando Estrada, plus Buff Bagwell, Abyss, and many more. For tickets, head over to blizzardbrawl.com. PWR is inviting you to the biggest party of the year on Friday, April 4th. Join Kevin Nash at the 4th Annual Shenanigans After Party, presented by Goldcock Whiskey, to kick off WrestleCon. Shenanigans will start with a special VIP dinner and private reception for Kevin Nash for all VIP guests. After that, join Nash and more for a special Q&A session where you are the stars. Then from there, it's time for the after party where you can meet all your favorite wrestling stars. Get your tickets now at PWRshow.com and use the promo code PrimeTime for 10% off your VIP tickets. Impact Wrestling is coming to the Milwaukee Land area with a huge show in Racine on Saturday, May 3rd. Tickets go on sale on Friday, March 21st, but you can get your tickets starting Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com for a special pre-sale using the code IMPACTRACINE. So get in and get your tickets early and get the best seats. That's it for this week's Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. Now it's time to throw to another celebration for PWR's 16-year anniversary.
Congratulations, Dave and Damian, for 16 years on the Pro Wrestling Report. Keep rocking.
It's real. It's damn real. Yeah!
Welcome back, fans, to the Pro Wrestling Report 16-year anniversary here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. Huge thanks go out to everyone who joined us tonight, including the Bromans kicking us off, Velvet Sky, Mr. Ken Anderson, and Jeff Hardy, who you just saw as well. Of course, Frank, Meathead.
You weren't kidding about bringing back old faces. I was shocked
It's like old school PWR.
Yes. It was.
And that continues, folks, in just a few minutes as we continue online at PWRshow.com and on our YouTube channel, where we'll be talking about WrestleMania as it is so far, more about Lockdown, more about this past Monday's Raw and television programming over the course of the week, and that will be with the full panel. Frank, Meathead, myself, and you, David Hero.
Oh, I'm on the panel?
Well, maybe we can bring Linda in. Why not? We have enough microphones for that?
Well, she can lay across the table.
You know, this past Friday night, Ring of Honor was raising the bar in Milwaukee. They had a big live event at Turner Hall. Some 600 people in attendance. It was the biggest draw yet so far, and that's going to lead to big things, by the way.
Well
folks.
done, Cousin Jack.
It was a great show, and here's what I'll say, and I said this on the Double D podcast earlier in the week. Ring of Honor, in my opinion, has at times overextended their welcome on live events. Shows go 4 hours, if not more, and you lose interest because all the matches were the same. Completely different show this past Friday night at Turner Hall in Milwaukee. There was intrigue. The show flowed well. Intermission was actually 15 minutes, and the show was done by 10 o'clock, I believe it was.
No, you can't beat that.
It was a great, great night, and highlighting the night was the champion. The World Heavyweight Champion, Adam Cole, with an interview. And again, rare for Ring of Honor. Now, they were taping this for TV, but him and Matt Taven, they had a good promo in the ring. We'll see it on Ring of Honor TV coming up soon.
I wasn't invited, so I didn't see it.
You were in Miami. Jay Lethal defeated Silas Young with a lethal injection following a low blow. Michael Bennett with Maria Kanellis defeated Tyson Dux. And Instant Reward three-way tag team matchup. Adrenaline Rush defeated Redragon, and then the other team in the ring was Outlaw Incorporated. They get an instant title shot by pinning Bobby Fish. And that match would happen immediately following, where Redragon would win and retain those tag team championships for that night. The BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs defeated Cedric Alexander and Alan Page in a great matchup as well. And then from there, we went on to see knockout artist Chris Hero, not Dave Hero.
Oh, because I have two R's. I'm original.
Defeat the very spectacular Roderick Strong, and then the Briscoes and Unbreakable Michael Elgin defeated Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen and the Young Bucks, who would win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships the next night, last Saturday night in Chicago. At the second night of Raising the Bar. And the main event, Adam Cole defeated Matt Taven to retain the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. Biggest news coming out of the night, though, ladies and gentlemen, Ring of Honor returns to Milwaukee. Turner Hall Ballroom on Friday, August 22nd. Tickets on sale now at papstheater.org. David, that's a show.
We're done? Well, not really. We still have another 30-some minutes to go.
That's a show on My 24 Milwaukee. Fans, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us here for our 16th birthday on My 24 Milwaukee. It continues at PWRshow.com right now, talking all about WrestleMania and the dynamic that changed it all with Daniel Bryan this past Monday night. It continues, folks, online, PWRshow.com.